Today, we're peeling back the layers on Sanjino, and I want you to think about it as more than just some exam software. It's really a complete digital ecosystem, a platform that's been built from the ground up to manage the entire life of learning and assessment for a school. So let's dive in and see how it really works.
So what does it actually take to power an entire school's exam system in the digital world? I mean, we're talking about managing hundreds, maybe thousands of students, dozens of teachers, and countless questions, all while making sure everything is secure, fair, and, actually gives you useful insights.
Well, it all starts with a rock-solid foundation. Under the hood, it's this incredibly complex web of connections, a detailed blueprint that links every single user to every single action. Now, this slide just gives you a tiny peek at that, but the main thing to get is that every piece of this system is deliberately and strongly connected, right from the very start.
But here's the brilliant part. The system takes all of that crazy complexity happening in the background and turns it into this. A clean, simple, and really powerful command center for the school's administrator. This is the whole idea behind Sanjino, really, taking something incredibly complex and making it feel simple and intuitive.
All right, so let's walk through how it all comes together. We'll start with Phase 1, building the digital schoolhouse. We're going to look at this from the administrator's point of view.
So, the very first thing you have to do is bring the school to life online. And that means creating accounts for every single person who's going to touch the system. The admins, the teachers, and of course, the students. Each one of them gets assigned a specific role, and that role is going to define everything they can and can't do.
And how does it do that? Through this really powerful system called Role-Based Access Control, or RBAC for short. The idea is actually pretty simple, but it's super effective. First, you define a permission, something like create exams. Then, you bundle that permission into a role, let's say teacher. And finally, you just assign that teacher role to a user. That simple logic is what makes sure a teacher can't mess with system settings and a student definitely can't see the answer key. It's like putting digital guardrails around everyone's experience.
And this right here shows you just how flexible that is. An admin gets this bird's eye view of everything. They can see every permission tied to every role. And what's really cool is they can create totally custom roles, maybe a department head role with its own unique set of permissions, so they can tailor the system to exactly how their school is structured.
Okay, so once the people are in, the admin starts acting like an architect, building the school's digital structure. They'll define the academic years, create all the different grade levels, organize those into classes, and assign subjects. You can think of this as building the digital container, the virtual classrooms and hallways where all the learning and testing is about to happen.
Now on to Phase 2. The digital schoolhouse is built, so we're going to switch hats. Now we're looking at this from a teacher's perspective. It's their turn to step in and start crafting the actual assessments. This is the teacher's dashboard. It's basically their mission control for every assessment they manage. Right from here, they can create a new exam, schedule it with a super precise start and end time, and then assign it to the right classes, all in one spot.
And here's the fun part, actually building the test. The test builder is connected directly to a central question bank. So a teacher just clicks a button and boom, a window pops up with all the available questions. They see one they like, click add, and it's instantly pulled right into their exam. It's incredibly fast and easy.
And these aren't just, simple text questions. The system has a really powerful editor built right in. It's called TinyMCE, and it lets teachers get creative. They can make questions with complex math formulas, they can embed images, even add tables. Plus, every question can be categorized by difficulty and given custom tags, which makes the whole question bank super organized and easy to search.
All right, the test is ready to go, so it's time to switch perspectives again. Let's see what this whole experience looks like for the most important user of all, the student. And this is where security becomes absolutely critical.
To make sure the exam is fair, Sanjino uses this multi-layered security protocol. It basically locks down the browser. It disables developer tools, right-clicking, and even the print screen button. It's also monitoring behavior, so it knows if a student tries to switch to a different tab or refresh the page. And to stop students from copying off each other, it even randomizes the order of the questions for everybody. And here's the proof. If a student tries to pull any of these common cheating moves, the system doesn't just block it, it actively throws up an alert. This creates this really secure lockdown bubble where the only thing they can focus on is the test itself. It really levels the playing field for everyone.
So, the student clicks submit. For them, the test is over. But for the system, the most important work is just getting started. This is that magic moment where we go from just a bunch of raw clicks to real, actual insights.
It all starts with this key idea, the standardized score. Now, instead of just giving a raw percentage, Sanjino uses this formula to change a student's performance into a score that's on a scale from 0 to 10,000. Now, why do that? Well, this lets you fairly and accurately compare how a student did on different exams, even if one test had only 10 questions and another one had 50.
But, a number like 6,500 doesn't really mean much by itself. So the system lets the admins define custom score levels. They can create these brackets and give them meaningful, color-coded labels, turning an abstract number into something anyone can understand, like excellent, good, or maybe requires effort.
And this is the beautiful result of all that. The second an exam is submitted, the student gets this instant, super detailed answer sheet. It shows them exactly what they got right, what they got wrong, and what the correct answer was, all color-coded so it's easy to read. That abstract score suddenly becomes a concrete visual tool for feedback.
But individual results? That's just the start. The real power of digitizing this whole process is what gets unlocked in this final phase, the full reporting suite, where all that data finally comes together.
Every single bit of data, every answer from every student on every single test, it all flows into the central report center. This isn't just a filing cabinet for old scores, it's the strategic brain of the school, and it's designed to turn all those raw results into a real data-driven strategy for education.
For example, you can zoom right in on one student's journey. The Student Progress Report tracks their performance over time, across all their tests, letting teachers spot trends, maybe see where they're struggling early on, and give them help right when they need it.
You can even analyze the questions themselves. The question analysis report is amazing. It shows which questions most students had trouble with. This helps teachers figure out what topics might need to be taught again, or maybe which questions are just worded poorly. It's a tool for making the curriculum better and better. And finally, you can zoom all the way out and get that bird's eye view. The class performance report lets you compare the average scores across different classes, giving administrators these incredible insights into how effective their curriculum and their teaching strategies really are.
So when you put it all together, you see how all these different pieces, the admin setup, the teacher's tools, the student secure test, and all the reports, they create this powerful feedback loop. Just like the source material says, Sanjino is a complete ecosystem for managing the entire learning and assessment lifecycle.
And that kind of leaves us with one final thought. What if every test could do more than just spit out a grade? What if, by using data this way, every single assessment could become a tool to improve not just how our students learn, but how we teach?